Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CD guy, Johnny Z here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel, and today I'm going to be counting down the top 10 greatest female metal vocalists of all time. This video is a sequel to one I did earlier this week, counting down the top 10 best rock female vocalists of all time, and that's the list you can go to if you want to hear more about, Stevie Nicks or Joan Jett, Lita Ford, etc., Tina Turner as well. So today I'm focusing more on the metal side of things. Wanted to do this sequel here because there are a lot of great female vocalists in heavy metal, and definitely wanted to talk about them here today. So with that in mind, let's get started with my number 10. Coming in at number 10 now, I'm going to go with Sue Metal of BABYMETAL. Only in her early 20s, she already has over a decade's worth of experience on lead vocals with an amazing range as well. Very diverse in the sense that really able to sing pretty much whatever's been thrown at her. And, someone who accused BABYMETAL of being too gimmicky, but I think they definitely proved that accusation to be wrong on their most recent record, the other one, which I reviewed here for the channel. I'll leave it linked down below, and definitely will pop up later again this year when I do my favorite albums of 2023 lists. But Sue Metal, fantastic vocalist, and I think on their most recent record, she delivered her most mature-sounding vocals to date, so that's a sign that her voice is only going to get better with time. I think an incredible vocalist who's done some great work already at such a young age. So coming in at number 10 here, let's go with Sue Metal of BABYMETAL. At number 9, let's go with Angela Gossow, of course, the former frontwoman for the melodic death metal band Arch Enemy, regarded as really one of the first women to front the death metal act. So definitely a pioneering force in death metal for sure, and, a key name there. Definitely made history in that respect. She did step down as the band's vocalist in 2014, but still remains their manager today. But a lot of that classic Arch Enemy material is iconic, and a huge part of that is because of Angela Gossow's vocals. I think underrated in some respects, but also heralded as a pioneer for, like I said, being one of the first women to front the death metal act. So a very important figure in death metal, in my opinion, and definitely belongs here on this list. Coming in at number 9, going to go with Angela Gossow, formerly of Arch Enemy. There's going to be a few symphonic metal entries here on this list today. First of which, coming in at number 8 here on the list, I'm going to go with Epica's Simone Simons, lead vocalist for Epica. She's a classically trained singer and can, switch seamlessly from that, classic style to a more contemporary vocal style with ease, which is very impressive. And while I wouldn't consider her voice to be on the same level of some symphonic metal powerhouses like Tarja Turunen or Floor Jansen, two names that I'll get to in a little bit, spoiler alert, but I still think she's one of the most consistent vocalists in the genre, and so for that reason, I think number 8 is a good spot for her here on this list. Gonna go with Simone Simons of Epica. Following that up now with my number 7, I'm gonna go with Cristina Scabbia of Lacuna Coil. With a near 3-octave vocal range, Scabbia is one of the greatest Italian metal vocalists of all time, and one of the 2 vocalists for the gothic metal band Lacuna Coil. She's been around for 30 years now, just about, and has been a part of some amazing collaborations outside of Lacuna Coil, but within the band is a key factor to the success in general. So, when it comes down to it, I find her to be the better of the 2 singers from Lacuna Coil and really enjoy her work with the band. And again, I mentioned some collaborations. Probably my favorite Cristina Scabbia collaboration outside of Lacuna Coil has probably got to be To Le Monde with Dave Mustaine from the United Abominations record from Megadeth. I think that's a really great vocal duet there. And, it's not easy to harmonize with Dave Mustaine's voice. He's got a pretty unique voice, right? But Cristina Scabbia does a fantastic job in that collaboration. So just a little piece of bonus information there. I do really enjoy that collaboration and that re-recording. But when it comes down to it, she's also done some awesome work with Lacuna Coil. My number 7 on the list, going to go with Cristina Scabbia. Number 6, we have Sharon Dan Adel of Within Temptation. Now, for me personally, I wasn't always a big fan of Within Temptation until I saw them live, opening for Iron Maiden on the last leg of the Legacy of the Beast tour. And, if you see Maiden live, the crowd is really not always into the opening act, right? Because a lot of them are there for Iron Maiden. They want Maiden now, and the opening band is for some reason taking that away from them. So Maiden fans aren't always kind to the opening act. And for me personally, I'm not always interested in the opening act at a show. And so in a lot of instances, they kind of have to win me over since they weren't the band that I was there to see. But we got there a little early. We got there in time for the Within Temptation set there before Iron Maiden hit the stage. And I got to say, I was blown away. I thought it was a great concert. I actually saw them twice. I went to 2 Iron Maiden shows back-to-back on that tour towards the end of Legacy of the Beast. And Within Temptation opened twice. 2 great concerts, in my opinion. I think Adele has such a powerful and strong voice and range, and is a great live singer as well. I think Within Temptation are definitely underrated in some respects, but a fantastic band, one of my favorite female-fronted bands out there right now, and they do have a new album coming out this October called Bleed Out, which I'm really looking forward to. So that said, coming in at number 6, let's go with Sharon Dan Adel of Within Temptation. Moving into the top 5 now with my number 5, we have Amy Lee of Evanescence. Now, everybody recognizes Amy Lee's voice from Evanescence's best-known song, Bring Me Me to Life, but there's a lot more to both the band and her vocals than just that one song that everybody seems to know from somewhere, right? But like a lot of the other entries here on this list, she has an amazing vocal range, but what I really think is what separates her from the rest of the entries here on this list is that she's able to convey so many different emotions with her voice, which really does set her apart, in my opinion, and one of my favorite aspects of her vocals. So, in my opinion, that's what makes her a bit distinct and unique, and I wanted to put her in the top 5 here today. Going to go with Amy Lee of Evanescence to get us started in the top 5. Dubbed the Queen of Metal, my number 4, Doro Pesch, was the first name that really came to mind for this list here of some of the best metal female vocalists of all time. So, initially, she was going to be my number 1, but then, of course, as you're filling up the list, things move around a little bit, but I think a place in the top 5 is more than fair, and it's a very close top 5, I should say. So, Doro at number 4 here, initially with Warlock before embarking on a solo career. Doro Pesch's voice has, such power and intensity behind it, and back in the 80s, which was definitely her vocal prime, in my opinion, she was really the measuring stick in terms of female vocalists in heavy metal. So, that said, number 4 here in this very close top 5, going to go with Doro Pesch, formerly of Warlock, and a fantastic solo artist on her own. Top 3 now, I'm going to go with Floor Jansen, currently of Nightwish. She initially made her name as the frontwoman for the symphonic metal band After Forever until their disbandment in 2009, and since then, Jansen has risen to prominence as the frontwoman for Nightwish, replacing Tarja Turunen as an official member, joining officially in 2013. She's a soprano with a vocal range over 3 octaves and has a pretty diverse voice as well, able to switch from classic vocals to a raspy death metal-esque growl as well. So I do find that diversity in her voice to be pretty cool, and think that, when it comes down to the 2 Nightwish frontwomen that everybody seems to, herald pretty highly, I agree with all the attention that they get, but I'm just a little bit more partial to the Tarja Turunen era than I am the Floor Jansen era, even though I think they both have great voices. Well, speaking of Tarja Turunen, she's my number 2 here on this list, formerly of Nightwish now. That operatic, classically trained vocal style helped set Nightwish apart from a lot of the other symphonic metal bands in the late 90s, in my opinion, and now, again, like I said, both her and Floor Jansen have incredible voices for Nightwish, but I do just prefer the Tarja era a little bit more, and I think the band did their best work with her at the helm, with her absolutely belting it out on some classic records towards the end of the 90s into the early 2000s that helped to define a lot of that symphonic metal scene at the time, and really provided a renaissance, I think, for that scene in the late 90s when they burst into the picture and started doing some fantastic defining work from the onset. Before we get to my number 1, I have a few honorable mentions to give out today. So honorable mentions going to go to Sabina Klassen of Holy Moses, Elisa Whitegluss of Arch Enemy, we have Wendy O. Williams, Anna Ace Brunner, currently of League of Distortion, a great new band, check them out, they're awesome, and Janet Gardner of Vixen, all fantastic female metal vocalists, but I can leave at 10 on the list here today. And finally, coming in at number 1, let's go with Lzzy Hale of Halestorm. In my opinion, the best current female metal singer on the planet. I mean, just nobody is quite at the level right now of Lzzy Hale, and even though this top 5 is very close together, I think Lzzy Hale is, in my opinion, again, the best female metal vocalist on the planet today. Doing a killer job with Halestorm. They seem to get better with every release as far as I'm concerned. Their most recent record, Back from the Dead, was one of my favorite records of 2022, and I think this was the best that Lzzy Hale had sounded on a studio album. So her voice is getting stronger with every release. The band is getting better and better, so very exciting stuff there if you're a fan of Halestorm, and I am. I first got into Halestorm when I saw them live, I believe back in 2017. They were on a bill with Alice Cooper and Motionless in White. Ew. But Alice Cooper was great, but Lzzy Hale and Halestorm were fantastic as well, and really put on a great show. Very heavy stuff, 100% real concert, right? No backing vocals or any of that nonsense, just a straightforward hard rock and metal show, and Lzzy Hale is a great frontwoman as well. Does some fantastic work with the band and has an amazing voice. So that said, my number 1 here on the list is going to go with Lzzy Hale of Halestorm. Like I said, the best in the world right now when it comes to female metal vocalists as far as I'm concerned. So that wraps up this list here, counting down my top 10 favorite female metal singers of all time, which should be visible right over here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, turn on the bell for notifications, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, please let me know down in the comments section below, what are some of your favorite female metal singers of all time? I want to hear from you. And go ahead and check out one of the more recent videos we did, counting down the best female rock singers. Had a lot of fun with that one as well, so definitely go ahead and check that out. I'll leave a link down in the comment section below. And until next time, it's the CD guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.